Welcome to Digital Asset News, where we take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, we have some strange stories, but pretty interesting. First up, this is the oddest story that I've read so far because it took me a while to understand exactly what's going on, but it talks about what are flash loans and why they're bullish for Ethereum. The flash loans part is pretty easy to comprehend, but the author, when he talks about why it's bullish for Ethereum, just boggled my mind. Also, Chainlink is on the road to 10th as competition intensifies against Tezos, and the IRS, our favorite entity, is hosting a summit to discuss its cryptocurrency taxing approach with crypto firms. I think this is good news. And finally, we'll go over the scam of the day. Thanks for everybody who has contributed. We're going to go over this the very last part to protect our community, but let's break into today's stories for right now. So first up, what are flash loans and why they're bullish? Very strange story. The whole part about this was why this is so good for Ethereum. So real quick, it talks about the crypto industry has been wrapped up in the first two major exploits of decentralized finance this week. Now, I've been a big proponent of DeFi. I think it's going to be very big. It's going to catapult Ethereum into the stratosphere, but there are speed bumps along the way, and this is one of those speed bumps. It talks about the decriers, or people who are complaining, are having a field day, but the outcome may actually be bullish for Ethereum. So ETH prices have bounced back following the two DeFi exploits this week. And I was like, what exactly were the DeFi exploits? So real quick, the BZX exchange talks about not a hack, but a hiccup or a problem. And what happened was they were hit by a second flash loan exploit within a week, this time losing over. So I want to make sure everyone understands that they lost $600,000 in ETH. So let me say that again. They lost over $500,000 in Ether. Okay, this was the second attack. They don't say it's an attack, but but they say this happened in a matter of days. It comes after BZX had just implemented a fix to prevent this particular problem from going on. So, using flash loans on the platform, which allowed an attacker to exploit the platform. So not attack, but exploit. With a smart contract which borrows funds with no collateral and pays them back in the same transaction. So it's like you borrow money, then you go someplace else and borrow some more money and you pay everything back. And it's just like, it's a very quick, fast scheme of what's going on. So in between the two steps of borrowing and paying back the loan, an attacker can execute many steps in between that leverage decentralized exchanges and DeFi lending platforms, which are automatically carried out by smart contracts. And it happens all instantly, like a blink of an eye. In this most recent attack, the attacker was able to take advantage of flash loans and place several trades at once, arbitraging the low liquidity of decentralized exchanges and making a profit. And that profit was over $500,000 in a couple of seconds. In this case, the attacker borrowed 7,500 ETH on BZX. Okay, using half of that ETH, so roughly 37.25, whatever it is, 37.50, he was able to purchase SUSD on Synthetics, another DeFi platform. And he used that SUSD as collateral for a second BZX loan. They then took 900 ETH and pumped the SUSD to $2 on a low liquidity DEX Kyber network, which had a price oracle. Very important. Had a price oracle. One, singular oracle. Oracles are those things that take a look at the API or different data and feeds those into smart contracts. And this one price oracle integration with BCX. Afterwards, they borrowed another 67.96 ETH, paid the original loan of 7,500 ETH back, and were able to pocket 23.78 ETH, netting $630,000 in profit like that. So kudos to you, you screwed somebody over. All this was able to be carried out in a single transaction using the smart contract. Okay, so moving forward, the second attack, while not exactly the same, was similar, except that it attacked a price feed oracle. Again, an oracle, those little things, little APIs that transfer data into the smart contract. It seems Ethereum developers have not fully grasped the oracle problem. So this is a single point of failure. And if you have these oracles, because these smart contracts need some type of oracle, some type of API to feed data into them because they are contained within their own blockchain, right? So these oracles, when you have one single point of failure, you have a problem, and that is why I am not heavily invested, but I'm moderately, I guess, invested into Chainlink. What is Chainlink? Well, Chainlink is pretty awesome. So smart contracts require secure middleware to connect them to real-world data. So you got data input, and then your blockchain itself. So there's one oracle, right? Centralized oracles are a point of failure, which is what we just saw right there. If you have one point and you're just taking one set of data, that can be manipulated pretty easy. One central point. That's the whole point of decentralization, right? We want to spread everything out as much as possible so there's no one single point of failure, not just one bank to fail, but you'd have to have, for decentralization, it's as far and wide as your nodes fail, right? So this one is a problem. What do they do with Chainlink? Well, Chainlink says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to connect multiple data points all through Chainlink, and you're going to be able to take any kind of data point that you want. It could be temperature, it could be price, it could be elevation, whatever data that you need, it will integrate via API, so there's not one single point of failure. Now, if there is one single point of failure, then Chainlink takes that back and says, we're going to penalize you and take back those whatever they share with them, and that's it. And you could have 3, you could have 10, you could have 1,000,000 data points. Doesn't matter. But that's why Chainlink is going to work so well, I think. Moving on. So when this flash loan occurred, BZX shut everything down, and proponents will say, hey, that's not good. This is supposed to be decentralized finance, not centralized finance. You can't just shut things down. So the fact that BZX has been able to freeze the platform during both attacks show that even though it's marketed as DeFi, ultimately it's centralized. Now, developers were able to use an admin key to shut down the trading on the platform. There's this phrase, and it goes along with everything. Something is great until it's not. Technology is great until it's not. A contract is great until it doesn't work. Decentralization is great until it's not. And this is a problem. But it's a problem that can be fixed. Look, humankind, people created these decentralized platforms, these smart contracts. So if they created a problem, they can solve the problem. It's just going to take time. Moving back to the original story. So this is where it gets kind of weird, because we just saw that somebody exploited a weakness, and it looks to us like an oracle problem. Later on, we're going to see how it might not be an oracle problem. But when you have this type of problem and you see that people are getting screwed out of money in some way, shape, or form, that's not good. But in this article, it's going to say how that is good. It was just very odd to me. So economist Alex Kruger talked about the exploits were bullish for Ethereum. He states, flash loans provide access to instantaneous liquidity without collateral. Well, that's true because, they got a bunch of money and you didn't need collateral in any way, shape, or form because you bought it from someplace else and paid it off. And work on top of deterministic transactions that fully eliminate risk for both borrower and lender. This is extremely valuable and the very best expression of programmable money. So don't really see the point, but okay. Moving forward, a flash loan is effectively when someone exploits a smart contract to borrow crypto funds with no collateral and then pays them back in the same transaction, which, sure, but we saw that there was actually like $600,000 made by somebody in some way, shape, or form. So between borrowing and repaying, the attacker can exploit other DeFi protocols, lending platforms, smart contracts to net a tidy profit. Okay, we just talked about that. Never mind the FUD. There will always be detractors to new technology and systems, and those that focus on its weaknesses are opposed to working on it, making it stronger and more resilient to such exploits. So right now, Charlie Lee is out there talking about how DeFi is a mess and a catastrophe. And at this point, it seems like he could be right on this particular issue. So there's different ways to look at things, right? Is your glass half empty or half full? Do you see this as a problem to be solved or something that's going to wipe away all of DeFi? I see it just as a problem that needs to be solved. And it's a good thing that we got this now when this happens at a low level and there's not many people into DeFi, globally. We can fix this at this level. The developers can work out an issue or a correction and then move forward and make it safer and more applicable for everyone. So sure, that's how I see it, but other people see it differently. What recent events do not mean is that the entire industry is flawed or centralized, as recently stressed by Charles Lee. Okay, so that's what I talked about. So the whole article is saying this. This is why it's bullish. Before it gets too big, they can fix this issue. And this the economist Alex Kruger talks about how it's great for liquidity and eliminate risks. I don't get that part, but okay. So I just saw it as someone exploited an issue, especially with these smart contracts. There's a way to fix it. They will fix it at some point. But right now, kind of a little bit off and on. I would be a little nervous to invest. Moving on. Chainlink on the road to 10th as competition intensifies against Tezos. So right now, if you're not aware of Chainlink, it's right now at 13th. This is February 19th, 2020. And yeah, it went up pretty fast. It's almost looking into the top 10, which is fantastic. And just so you know, if you look at CoinMarketCap or whatever other places you can look at, Chainlink has doubled in about a month. 5 weeks, somewhere around there. So that's a pretty good profit. So who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? Chainlink is one of my 6, on top of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, EOS, and Chainlink. These are the ones I invested into. So if it seems like I am biased, it's because I am. These are the ones that I like. And these types of stories, I mean, I cover other stories. Like a couple days ago, I talked about how Tron is gobbling up everything. And it was a pretty interesting video because the majority of people hate Tron. That's just what it comes down to. They hate, I don't know if they hate Tron, but they hate Justin Sun a whole heck of a lot. And I understand. He's just a guy, yeah, okay, so he lies. So he's been caught in some fibs. Who out there among us is a saint and does not lie? Don't be a hypocrite. So even the President of the United States lies. Come on. So when these types of things where I see like Tron and people say it's a crap product and it's just awful and da-da-da, and I always, to me, I always think to myself, I mean, let's be honest, crap products kind of make the world go round. Here's an example. So I don't know where you're at. I don't know what city or state you live in or country, honestly, but I can just ask you one question, and it's going to be very revealing. First of all, what is the best hamburger in your city? What's the best one where you're like, oh, I can't wait to have this hamburger. You know, it's so good, blah, blah, blah. It could, you know, some people are like, oh, this Broncos Burgers down here in Ohio is fantastic. Or, oh, we got In-N-Out here in Los Angeles. It's great. Or, oh, we got Pete's, you know, Burger and Barn. It's so awesome and blah, blah. And really statistically, if you look at it all, the figures and numbers and look at, you know, the volume, it's McDonald's. And McDonald's isn't a fantastic hamburger, let's be honest. It's trash. But damn if a lot of people don't use it, and damn if a lot of people don't buy it. So when we started to talk about like, well, Tron's trash and blah, 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 yeah, maybe, I guess. But are people using it? A lot of dApps. Are people invested into it? Are they gobbling up everything like crazy? Are they doing pretty much what McDonald's does? Which is just, that's why you see McDonald's in every corner. That's why they're so good at marketing. I mean, they're on TV, they're on radio, and then not only that, but you see them in every darn corner that you go across, especially in the United States. I don't know where you're at, but if you don't know about McDonald's, that's odd. So same thing with Tron, and that's what I was kind of alluding to. So love him or hate him, I mean, he's doing what it's going to be. And like I said, sometimes crap products make the world go round. That's just how business goes. So Tezos are coming back to Tezos and, you know, being the 10th place and Chainlink coming up. Right now, the Tezos all-time high lingers above a 350 to hold on to 10th, but Chainlink is really making a big case for moving into those 1 through 10 spots. I mean, not 1. Chainlink's not going to be 1. Let's be honest. So now we're talking about why Chainlink is set to win the battle to 10th. And this is where it gets interesting. So apart from Tezos and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Link is the only coin to engulf its previous all-time high this year, hitting an unprecedented 490 on February 16th. And just to back up, I don't understand why Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is pumped so hard and it went up so high. So if you know exactly why, please let me know in the comments section below. And don't bash anything. I don't really care about maximalism, and if you think your coin, whatever. Let's try to be a little bit more supportive in this space because, look, what's good for one is good for all. And when the water rises or comes into the harbor, all the ships rise. So if something goes up like Tron, I'm cheering. I'm like, great, one more cryptocurrency project that went mainstream. That's great, as best as it can. That'll bring attention to my 6. I'm happy. Anyhow, looking at the daily charts, the MACD is expanding in a bullish momentum, signaling a continuation of the trend, and the Link USD's Elliott Wave Oscillator is deeply green, signaling a buy market. So I'm not a big TA guy, but if you're in a TA, those are just 2 great things to look at. And if TA people believe in it and they invest into it, that means that money flows in and the price rises, so I'm happy. Fantastic. Then it goes on to talk about notwithstanding the fundamentals, and utility of Link potentially offers a catalyst to par $5 US levels in the coming days. And that's interesting because right now it's sitting around $4.79. So great, bumps up a couple more percentage points. Great, I'm happy. Not financial advice. This is just what they see. Also, this kind of ties into our other story. Following a widely publicized contract breach on BZX exchange, which saw the company lose over $100 million. So it's talking about $100 million here, but maybe, I don't know if that's the first one or the second one. The second one we just read, it was $630,000, not $100 million. So if that was the first attack, maybe it is. Regardless, they've lost money. No company wants to lose that much money, $630,000 or $1 million, or definitely not $100 million. But there was a problem, and they're trying to fix it. So the company released a post-mortem confirming they will be leveraging the Chainlink Oracle system to get, quote, prices on their assets to prevent another breach. So let me say that again. The company released a post-mortem confirming they will be leveraging the Chainlink Oracle system. And why is that? Because they had a single point of failure. They don't want to do that again. They want to use Chainlink, multiple points, harder to hack. Makes more sense. Great. Then they state, we'll also be implementing Chainlink Oracles as a shipment to the Kyber price feed to provide time-weighted information on price data, even though this was not an Oracle attack. There were many that expressed concern that the security properties of our Oracle would be more robust, and we have listened to the feedback. So look, whatever they want to say is fine. I just think if you can get more security in there by using Chainlink, that's great. Not to mention that I'm super biased, and I want people to use Chainlink as much as possible. Moving on. And last up, the IRS to host a summit to discuss its cryptocurrency taxing approach with crypto firms. So the U.S. IRS, if you're not from the States, that is the central organization that collects all our taxes and robs us blind, has reportedly invited a number of cryptocurrency startups to a summit that's set to be held on March 3rd. Now, let me make sure I'm crystal clear. I'm not an anarchist, okay? I believe that in some way, shape, or form, you have to pay some kind of taxes because you have to pay for roads and bridges and schools and things like that. So I'm not an anarchist like that. But sometimes I think that there's a misuse of power, but that's just me. Moving on, it states the agency will reportedly discuss with cryptocurrency firms how it can balance taxpayer service with regulatory enforcement. So they're going to bring these firms in. They're going to just have a roundtable discussion, essentially, and pretty much lay out the whole land of what they want to do. An IRS spokesperson confirmed the summit is indeed taking place. States here the summit will be held at the IRS's Washington, D.C. headquarters, and that's pretty much it. So it's not a big story, but it is a story that puts a step in the right direction. I like the fact that the IRS is even, sending out invitations to say, hey, we're going to have this information, these 4 90-minute presentations about how we're going to progress as far as taxation goes. Now, you got to understand, this is 2020. There are still 20 or 21 different bills set to hit Congress, and they're going to vote on them, and that's going to seriously affect how the IRS moves forward. But right now, they're just saying, look, this is what we've got right now, and this is how we want to see things done. Also, if you're in the States, don't forget, on your 1040 or 1040 SR, you're going to see this question. At any time during 2019, did you receive, sell, send, exchange, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in any virtual currency? So, yeah, just be aware that's what's going to happen. That's what they're going to ask. And I covered this in another video. I'll try to link it at the end. But essentially, if you get a 1099 from any type of exchange, you can best believe that the IRS knows exactly how much you got. So you might want to just talk to your accountant about that question. And that is it. That is it for today's stories. I want to say thanks for sticking with the rants. I know it was a little bit quicker than most, but a lot of things to do today. If you got a couple more minutes, stick with me. We're going to go over the scam of the day. Now, real quick, scam of the day. If you're new to my channel, welcome. The scam of the day can always be found in the same place. In the description section of every video that I do, there's going to be a section titled Scam of the Day. And right there, it's going to be a link. It's going to send you to this handy-dandy Google spreadsheet. And it's going to be called Scam of the Day. And of course, underneath there, these are all the scams that we've already gotten rid of, thankfully. So thanks for everybody who's helped me out. I can't do this myself. I just can't. So thanks. But if you see these types of blank spaces, this means that these scams have not been wiped away. And we're pretty good at getting rid of these guys. Now, why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this because 2020 is going to be a big year. Bitcoin halving is coming up. I see a huge bull run coming. Parabolic, hopefully. So when we want people to come in, we don't want to get screwed out of their money, right? So if one person comes in and gets screwed out of their money, that one tells 10, 10 tells 1,000, 1,000 tells 10,000. And it's always the same story. Cryptocurrency is a scam. Cryptocurrency is for the Silk Road, and they can hire hitmen, and they took all my money, and it's for cartels. That's not what we want. We want people to come in, invest, make money, and everybody's happy, right? But if they come for scammers, that's no good. Best way to avoid a scam: treat everything as a scam. Everything. Even if you see my logo in any other type of video that says, hey, I'm just here to give you some free money. I'm not going to give you free money. I don't do that. I mean, I run a charity for kids, but I don't give free money. That's just not how I do things. And no one does that. So with these types of scams, treat everything as a scam. If you're kind of confused and think, well, this might be legit, send an email to the official website. Send an email to Binance. Hey, Binance, are you giving away an airdrop with free money? No. Hey, Ripple, are you giving away a free XRP of 10? No. Hey, Ledger, no one's giving free stuff. But if you are a little off, or like maybe they are, send an email to the website. They'll tell you exactly what I told you, which is no. All right, so that's one way. The second way is we got to wipe away all these current scams. So what do? We're going to click on this link right here. It's going to take us to this nonsense. And what we're looking for is we got to prove this is a scam. Don't just take my word for it, right? So we're going to look in the comments section, see what they say, and it's pretty scammy. But that doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, there's been videos put out where it's, talking about XRP and they're like, it's a scam. Or even Bitcoin, people will say it's a scam. So we can't just rely on the information of others most of the time. We got to do our own research. So in this one, what we're looking for asymmetrical giveaways. What does that mean? So in this one, and you can see up here, they're going to ask you, hey, here's a giveaway. Just send us this, send us 1,000 XRP. We're going to give you 10,000 or something stupid. But in this one, it's, even in the comments, it says, to verify your address, just send 1,000 to 1,000,000, and we'll send you 10,000 to 10 million back. That's not happening. No one's giving free money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to downvote it. I'm going to try to report it, and usually scammers hide it, but we know where it is. It's in this 3 dots right here. We click on that, report. We're going to say this is spam or misleading. We're going to choose one. It's a scam or fraud. This applies the links in the video. Click next, and we're just going to say, hey, this is a scam. And report, and that's it, we're done. Now, if you do this on the desktop like I just did, like a PC or a Mac, it's like 3 steps. But on a phone, you just click scam and then you're done. So that's not too hard. So if I do it, just one crazy person, saying, hey, this is a scam. But if you do it, now we're 2 people. And then if everybody who watches this video does it, we got 1,000. And this one's been up way too long, since October 23rd, 2019. There's no reason this thing should be up. I don't understand why this is still there. 756 total views. Yeah, whatever. So that's it. Thanks for sticking with me. If you like these types of videos, there's going to be 2 more to the left and right. I don't know what they are. It's curated for whatever you like on YouTube, but they're all my videos. So stick around for those if you want to. If not, I will see you on the next one.